First game on the list is Days Gone. You're Deacon St. John, a biker drifter in a world that's gone straight to hell. At the start, you're just another survivor, barely scraping by, running errands for shady camps, and struggling against freakers that can rip you apart in seconds. Ammo is scarce, your bike is barely holding together, and every decision feels like life or death. But then the tides start to turn. You upgrade your gear, craft better weapons, and fine-tune your bike until it's an unstoppable beast. Those freaker hordes that once had you running for your life, now you're the one hunting them down, setting traps, using napalm Molotovs, and turning the battlefield into a fiery graveyard. What makes Days Gone special isn't just the power progression, it's the journey. You don't just get stronger, you earn it. Every upgrade, every skill unlocked, every fight survived makes you feel like you've clawed your way up from nothing. By the time you hit the late game, you're not just some drifter anymore, you're a force of nature. And that final act, pure, satisfying vengeance. Next game is Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. Imagine being thrown into a brutal medieval world with nothing but the clothes on your back and a name no one respects. That's Henry's reality. A simple blacksmith's son, untrained, untested, and completely out of his depth. At first, you're swinging a sword like a drunk peasant, getting smacked around by bandits, and barely scraping together enough groschen for a decent meal. But this isn't a game that hands you power on a silver platter. You have to earn it. Every duel, every hunt, every lesson in swordplay makes you sharper. Your reputation grows, your skills improve, and soon the same nobles who once sneered at you start taking you seriously. You go from a clueless village boy to a skilled warrior, a man with influence, someone who can turn the tide of battle with a single decision. And the best part? No magic, no shortcuts, just pure, hard-earned growth. By the time you're leading soldiers into battle, wearing finely crafted armor and swinging a sword like a true knight, you'll look back at that helpless boy from the start and barely recognize him.
You should have yielded! Now we'll display your corpse on the pillory!
Next game is Stalker 2. The zone doesn't care who you are. You start as just another stalker, under-equipped, outgunned, and one wrong step away from becoming mutant Chow. Radiation seeps into your bones, anomalies tear reality apart, and every bullet is a precious resource. The first time you run into a bloodsucker, you'll probably panic, waste all your ammo, and die in the dark. But survival in the zone isn't about luck. It's about adapting. You scavenge better weapons, upgrade your gear, and learn to use the environment to your advantage. Every firefight is a brutal game of tactics. Every decision could mean the difference between life and death. You stop running from mutants and start hunting them. You no longer avoid bandits. You take them out before they even see you. Then comes the real power shift. You're no longer just scraping by, you own the zone. You have the best weapons, the toughest armor, and the skills to make even the deadliest enemies think twice. The same stalkers who ignored you before now whisper your name. You're not just surviving anymore, you're dominating. Next game is Kenshi. This game doesn't hold your hand. In fact, it smacks you in the face and leaves you bleeding in the sand. You start as nothing, a weak, starving drifter in a lawless world where literally everyone is stronger than you. Bandits will beat you senseless, slavers will throw you in chains, and even hungry dogs might turn you into their next meal. But here's the beauty of Kenshi. You get stronger because you suffer. Every defeat teaches you something. You train, you recruit allies, you build your own outpost, that lone weakling crawling through the desert. Soon he's leading an army, cutting through enemies with cybernetic limbs and legendary weapons. And when you return to the same bandit camp that once left you for dead, this time, you're the nightmare. You don't just fight back, you wipe them off the map. Kenshi is about struggle, but more importantly, it's about earning your rise to power. No magic, no shortcuts, just grit, survival, and pure willpower. From a nobody to a warlord, that's Kenshi. Next game is Hades. In Hades, you start as Zagreus, the son of the god of the underworld. And guess what? Your dad doesn't exactly have your back. You're stuck in the depths of hell, with no clear path out, and zero chances of winning anyone's favor. At first, you're weak, wielding nothing but a basic weapon, facing off against hordes of enemies that are more than happy to turn you into a puddle of gore. But the beauty of Hades is that failure isn't the end. Every time you die, and you will die a lot, you come back stronger. You'll find new weapons, power-ups from the gods themselves, and the ability to upgrade your abilities. With every escape attempt, you learn a little more about the underworld, your family, and your powers. Soon, those monsters that once crushed you will be the ones running scared. You'll tear through the underworld like a force of nature, wielding godlike power with each run. Every upgrade feels earned, and every victory is that much sweeter. From an untrained son to a literal god on a rampage, that's Zagreus' story.
Die. Vast riches.
Next game is Dead Cells. This game throws you into an ever-shifting, unforgiving world where death is just the beginning. You start as a blob of sentient cells, completely helpless, wandering through a labyrinth of traps, monsters, and ruthless bosses. Your first few runs? Expect to be torn apart by creatures that barely give you time to blink. But here's where Dead Cells truly shines. Each time you die, you're not just losing progress, you're evolving. You gain new abilities, unlock stronger weapons, and learn the ins and outs of the world you're trapped in. As you move through the procedurally generated levels, you're building your strength and expertise, and it's this constant evolution that makes every run exciting. Later, you go from being an easy target to a deadly force. Those bosses that used to wreck you? Now, you're dodging their attacks with style and countering with precision. By the time you reach the final stages, you're a well-oiled killing machine, smashing through enemies and obstacles with ease. From helpless to unstoppable, that's the power progression in Dead Cells. Next up is Risk of Rain 2. When you first crash land in Risk of Rain 2, you're barely holding it together. The world is hostile, your team is scattered, and you're just one small survivor among countless dangers. With minimal gear and no clear direction, the odds of making it out are slim. You're weak, alone, and surrounded by enemies that want nothing more than to end you. But here's where the magic happens. Every kill makes you stronger. Every time you defeat an enemy, you gain powerful items that stack up and turn you into a literal force of nature. At first, your attacks might feel weak, but as you progress, you'll accumulate abilities, gear, and power-ups that amplify your attacks and defenses. Then, the same enemies that once overwhelmed you are dropping like flies. Your character evolves with each item, gaining new synergies that make you feel more like a god than a survivor. What was once a desperate struggle for survival becomes a devastating rampage, as you tear through enemies with abilities that stack like crazy. The world may be harsh, but now, you're the storm. Next game is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. You start as a rookie miner in Deep Rock Galactic, just another cog in the massive mining machine. The job sounds simple: dig, mine, extract resources. But as soon as you're dropped into the dangerous, monster-infested caverns, you realize this isn't your typical 9-to-5. At first, you're clumsy, your gear's basic, and you're barely surviving the onslaught of hostile alien creatures and environmental hazards. But the key to surviving in Deep Rock Galactic? Teamwork and upgrades. As you progress, you'll earn credits and resources, allowing you to upgrade your armor, weapons, and mining tools. You'll also unlock specialized classes that turn you into a devastating force, from the tanky driller to the tech-heavy engineer. As you and your team level up, you'll start to feel invincible, able to wipe out swarms of enemies with ease, dig through rock like it's nothing, and extract the rarest resources from the most dangerous environments. What was once a daunting, deadly mission becomes a coordinated assault on alien life. And soon, you're not just surviving, you're dominating the caves.
Hard hat, stupids!
Objective completed, miner. Get to the dry pod before it heads back to orbit.
Just the upgrade I was looking for. Give it to me. Now we're cooking with gas. Hello and goodbye.
Next game is Baldur's Gate 3. You're an amnesiac, barely aware of the sinister forces that have taken hold of you, and you're thrust into a world on the brink of destruction. From the moment you escape that ill-fated ship, you're vulnerable. No allies, no resources, and facing off against the unknown. But what makes Baldur's Gate 3 incredible is how you slowly become the hero of your story. As you explore, make choices, and shape your destiny, you begin to gather more power. Your character grows from a confused outcast to a force that can reshape the fate of entire nations. You unlock powerful spells, skills, and artifacts, each one making you more formidable in battle. By the time you're battling demons and ancient gods, you realize you've gone from a lowly victim to someone who holds the very threads of the world in your hands. Baldur's Gate 3 is about choices, growth, and earning your place in a story that's as epic as you make it.
The brew's been chilled.
Cold, chilled, froze.
Last game, we have Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. The first battles are rough, your troops barely hold it together, and you're scraping together enough gold to feed your band of outcasts. But the beauty of Bannerlord is that you can build your empire from the ground up. With every skirmish you win, every town you conquer, and every lord you defeat, you gain influence and power. You recruit stronger troops, train your soldiers, and slowly rise through the ranks. Before long, you're leading massive armies, controlling entire castles, and even negotiating with other factions for power. Soon, you're not just a commander, you're a warlord, a key player in a larger struggle for control of the land. You can conquer cities, engage in epic sieges, and rise from a wandering adventurer to a ruler of a kingdom. The thrill of building something from scratch, from just one soldier to an entire empire, is what makes Bannerlord so incredibly satisfying. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on the latest and greatest games. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. Got a game you'd love to see in a future video? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned and see you next time.